Heat number 1 underway here on Racecraft TV. Do apologize, a fair bit of technical issues from the booth here tonight. YouTube not deciding to go live, OBS crashing as well a bit earlier, so we're working our way through, and hopefully the rest of the night is a lot better. But we are underway in heat number 1. Pace car pulls back down. First caution pulled out by Paul Owens, stopped on the outside of turn number 1 in the 91. But we are ready to go back to racing. Top 4 will advance their way into the feature race. Drivers will head to the C or B main. We're back underway here in heat number 1 of the night as Adam Jones leads the way. Jonathan Platt will sit in second place in the 43, trying to gain more time on the leader in front. It's Paul Butler and Matt Crockett fighting further back into the inside for the transfer spot. That's Jimmy Covert in the 14.
You know, you can see these drivers really working their wheels, so it's definitely going to be very interesting as the night progresses to see how this track goes. And the 14 sort of washes out there, which causes the car behind him, which that was, I'm pretty sure, the 02 car of Alan Slight. So definitely interesting, and you know, it could have ended very badly there.
Adam Jones still sits in first place. Jonathan Platt in second. Now Paul Butler, Matt Crockett rounds out your transfer spots with 5 laps to go. Top 4 is the cut line. Jimmy Covert now in the 14, trying to chase down the battle for the transfer spot. But you can see still not 1 second between those two. Not exactly that easy to catch up, especially in these cars. You can see how much he's having to fight that wheel sideways heading through turn 2. Still in the way, Adam Jones with 3 laps to go. Fighting his way through turns 1 and 2, getting a relatively good gap over Jonathan Platt in the 43. Platt was the fastest in practice too, and now having Adam Jones pull way ahead with 2 laps to go.
You can see we are white flag here. The 46 of Adam Jones is leading. It seems like the lower line is working really, really well for him as he is going one more time around. And I'm pretty sure this is going to bring out the checkered flag. So Adam Jones in the 46 is your Heat 1 winner here at Charlotte.
Great win for Adam Jones to grab the win here in heat number 1 of the night. Getting a great start to the evening. He'll start on the pole in the feature race later on tonight. And the top 4 finishers will advance their way into the feature race with him as well. And those 4 are going to be Jonathan Platt, Paul Butler, and Matt Crockett join Adam Jones in the feature race later on tonight. Jeremy Lyon Watkins, Jimmy Covert, Paul Owens, and Derek Sherman will have to race their way out of the C and B mains for their hopes of making it into the feature race tonight. Time to take a look at the starting grid for heat number 2. Mark Thomas, Wesley Fuller on row 1, John Crane, Dane Simpson on row 2, Mason Smith, Brandon Mettler on row 3, Kevin Foster, Dave Lohr round out your top 8, and all 8 drivers starting tonight's race. So we get ready for the second heat of the evening as the field rolls its way off. Mark Thomas in the 50 going to lead the field to the green flag for heat number 2. Top 4 advance their way into the feature race. Now, we were discussing earlier on in the pre-race show that unfortunately you could not see here on Racecraft TV with an issue with the YouTube live stream. the points starting to heat their way up. Joshua Lee, Jordan Hicks joining you for tonight's coverage, and there is the current playoff standings, and Nick Nickerson, best of the rest, 4 wins on the season. Carl Andrew trying to catch up with 3. Metler, Jones, Foster, and Smith all with 1 win. Covert and Butler are locked in via points, and Crockett, Platt, Andrews, and Thomas not clinched yet. They still have a chance to fall underneath that top 12 cut line. 2 rounds, including this one here in the dirt track at Charlotte before we head into the playoffs. And it's time for the second heat of the evening live on Racecraft TV. We're underway in Heat 2.
Green, green, green.
Already sliding up the track is Mark Thomas in the 15, already about over the transfer spot. Mason Smith in the 6, running the outside line. Dane Simpson in the 96, holds it on the inside line. The 6 trying to roll the outside, not able to do it. Top 4 trying to pull away. Back through turn 3, the 6 cars, great run on the outside. 96 falls down to the bottom. Side by side for the transfer spot. Here comes the 6 around the outside. Gets blocked by the 96. Now here comes the 15. All the way on the inside. Contact is made. Metler is around. He is able to save it through turn 2, but almost trouble for the 15 as we rejoin the bottom of the transfer. Mason Smith trying to work the outside and get around for 4th.
You can just see he's trying to get the run, but doesn't seem like he has enough time as there is contact with the 96 and the 199. And so you can see the 6 car of, I'm pretty sure that's Mason Smith. And you can see he just went right to the bottom and changed up his line. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that works for him here tonight.
Now John Crane needs to get that transfer spot. He moves the 6 car up the road. The 6 car of Mason Smith now falls back to the outside line, and he falls back to 5th outside of the transfer. Needs to try and get back up into that top 4. Dane Simpson holds 3rd now. John Crane trying to get it back. Battle between the 96 and the 199. The battle for 3rd. Up front, still Mark Thomas by a considerable margin over Wesley Fuller at the front. Here comes Brandon Metler battling Mason Smith. Blocks him. The Smith is in the wall. The 6 car upside down on the front straightaway. Undoubtedly going to bring out a caution. No, it won't. He tows it back into the pit lane. We stay green in Heat 2, going on to lap 8.3 to go. It's Thomas ahead of Fuller, ahead of Simpson, ahead of Crane, your top 4. Metler now fighting with the 8 of Kevin Foster. Nowhere near the transfer spot as Crane fights Simpson for 3rd. Oh, Simpson in the wall, the 96, all over the wall, upside down.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Caution comes out with 2 to go in Heat 2, and that is going to ruin the 96's chances of making the feature race through the heat.
What an insane crash there, as we saw a previous rollover, and then once again by the 96, he just seems like he got up into the wall. You can see the replay right here, the 199 trying to get past him, and then up into the wall, the 96 goes, and then he just keeps on going, and then the car starts to roll. So definitely not the night that the 96 wanted, but you know, racing's racing, and things like that can happen.
And I believe Jordan, this is also his first start in this series, so not the start that he wanted either in the 96, but that'll put us under the second caution total of the night, and the second caution here in the heats. First caution of Heat 2. Caution laps don't count under the heat races or at any point tonight. So we'll stay on lap 8, go green on to lap 9 with 2 laps to go here in Heat 3. Field will line up for the restart. Pace truck into the pit lane. And we are ready to go racing for the last 2 laps here in Heat number 2. It's Mark Thomas up front.
Green, green, green.
Green flag back out. Heat number 2 ready to finish up. Top 4 make their way into the features. They race through 1 and 2. Right now holding that transfer spot, it's Brandon Metler. Crane around the outside. Gonna keep 3rd place. Now Kevin Foster in the 8, battling for the transfer. Right on the back bumper of the 15. He moves his way to the inside. Side by side for the transfers. The 15 and the 8 is the white flag comes out. Mettler on the outside trying to roll around, but Foster on the inside keeps the wheels turning. He's going to try and take that transfer spot away. Off turn 4, it's Thomas ahead of Fuller, Crane, and Kevin Foster takes the 4th transfer spot. A great move from the 8 of Kevin Foster to take home the win. Or take home that transfer spot. Taking home the win in the heat was Mark Thomas in the 50. A great run for him here in heat number 2. Ahead of Wesley Fuller, John Crane, Kevin Foster, your top 4. Mettler, Simpson, Smith, and Lohr will have to work their way out of the B or C mains to make their way into the feature race tonight. 7 cars on tap for heat number 3. Alan Slight, Bennett Allen, Carl Handwerk, David Castelli, Brendan Whitford, Nick Nickerson, and Daniel Stein. Your 7 cars ready to take to the track. Top 4 will advance their way into the feature race tonight. We'll only have 3 heats on the night, just as the way the registration worked with each of the cars. So this will be the last heat of the night. And we have had 2 exciting heats and getting ready to go racing here in heat number 3. Expected to be equally as exciting out there on the racetrack. Alan Slight in the 02 going to lead the field to green. Bennett Allen to his outside. 2 incredible drivers in this heat. Jordan, Carl Handwerk, Nick Nickerson. It's been those 2 in each of the series, the Vintage Series and here in the Premier Series all season long. There was only 4 spots into the feature race out of this heat. Do you think they're both going to end up in the top 4?
You know, we've seen them have some pretty good battles before, and you can see they're right behind each other. And so I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on these 2 because they both can go from the back and work their ways up, and they can end up winning the thing. So very curious to see what they both got to do here tonight.
Ready to go racing here in heat number 3, the final one.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag underway. Alan Slight hits the loud pedal. We are underway for the final heat of the night. Everybody fighting for the transfer spot. Right now it's between David Castelli on the inside. That's the 131. Brandon Whitford up into the wall. Goes the 2 and the 18. Castelli going to fall all the way to 7th place. Whitford now holds the transfer. He slams the wall. Nick Nickerson in the 2 trying to take it over. Dives to the inside. He's going to grab the transfer off 2.
You can already see Nickerson making some moves right there. As he's just diving down to the bottom, it seems like it's working. But it's going to be interesting to see how far he can make his way up. As he is getting into the transfer spot, the 131 of Whitford washes out in the turn. And it's going to be a definitely interesting battle for these 2.
Whitford now running back to the inside, trying to get back by the 2. This is the battle for the transfer, side by side, back into 1. The 133 trying all he can on the inside to take over that spot. Doesn't look like he has enough. The 2 car on rails on the outside line. 4 laps down, 6 to go here in the heat. As Alan Slight leads the way, but Bennett Allen trying to make a move on the outside. Allen running all the way next to the wall in the number 24, chasing down the 02 of Alan Slight. You can see Carl Handwerk in the 18 also peering behind these drivers. Slight moves up to the outside line, trying something different out there on the track to catch up to the race leader. But now as they cross the line, lap 7 of 10, 4 to go. Running out of time is Bennett Allen if he wants that heat 3 win. Carl Handwerk now down to the inside to try and take over P2. Another huge dive to the inside, goes for the slide job. He will able to get it. Both cars into the wall, Handwerk and Allen. Handwerk Handwerk running the inside once again. He will keep the spot. Now trying to battle for the lead with Alan Slight, but he's got a long way to go. 2 laps to go, 1.5 seconds the gap up to the lead.
You know, this is typical Carl Handwerk right now, as he's making moves as quick as possible, and you can see him working the wheel inside the car. And he's not too far behind, but either way, he is going to make it to the main. And, you know, it's going to be definitely very interesting watching him make his way through the pack of cars that there is going to be in the main. And it looks to be that Alan Slight in the O2 car is going to take the win here in heat number 3, going to the main.
Great win for Alan Slight to walk away with the win. Stein, Whitford, Castelli gonna race their way out of the B or C main here tonight. That will conclude all of the heats we have on tap tonight. Now gearing up for tonight's C main. Once again, 12 laps. Top 2 will advance into the feature race tonight. Grab a quick look at the results from heat number 3. Great heat that was. Alan Slight, Carl Handwerk, Bennett Allen, Nick Nickerson advance, Daniel Stein, Brandon Whitford, David Castelli rounding out the field. They'll race their way out of one of our B or C mains. Paul Owens, Mason Smith, David Castelli, Derek Sherman, Dave Lohr lined up, ready to go. 5 cars here in this in this C main. Top 2 advance their way into the feature. So now, Jordan, we make the field size down to 5, and now only the top 2 advance their way in. This is going to be a challenge for these drivers.
You know, definitely, and the other half, the cars that are other than the top 2 right now are definitely going to work this one, as, you know, they don't want their night to end early, and so everyone wants to make it to the main, and it's going to be really interesting to see who the top 2 are that are going to the main.
Paul Owens will lead the field to green. Mason Smith to the outside. Castelli had a good run going at the beginning of that heat. He had a great start on lap 1, but got thrown into the wall, ruining his night in the heat. Derek Sherman also with a good run in the 51. Dave Lohr unfortunately got wrecked out rather early in his heat, so he was unable to make his way into the feature. But now, last chance for a lot of these drivers. 12 laps, 2 more than the heats. Top 2 advance their way in. And we are ready to go racing. Paul Owens will lead the field to the green, and we are now underway here in
Green, green, green.
Diving up the inside, the 18 of David Castelli. He wants that spot. Not able to grab it as they work their way now through turn 3. Castelli trying to work the inside. Gets very loose. Has to chase that car. He will keep the transfer spot. But here comes the 6 of Mason Smith now working the outside line. And Castelli with a huge dive up the inside. It's not going to work. Castelli around in turn 2.
You can see the 6 of Mason Smith just working the lower line. And, you know, he seems like to be that one to watch here in this race. And then you can just see, I'm pretty sure the 60 or the 91, not too sure. As it is the 91, they're side by side right now going into turn 3. And you just see Paul Owens just working the outside line. And he's just getting the run of a lifetime right by Smith. So definitely really interesting and very exciting to watch as he works the wheel on that car.
Castelli now back into the mix, dives up the inside. He might fly jump for the lead. He almost does. 3 wide for the lead. Castelli went for it, didn't stick that well, but now 3 cars all battling for the lead. 3 wide as they work their way to the back straightaway. Owens on the outside. Now Castelli dives back up the inside for the transfer. He's going to try and slide up in front of the 6. He makes contact with the 6 onto the front straightaway. Doesn't slide up in time. Castelli's still working the inside. Owens on the outside. Side by side now for second place. Smith works the outside. Castelli in the 18 falls to 3rd. Trying his best to roll the inside. Grab that transfer. Just not able to do so. Now side by side for the lead. Owens rolling the top. Will keep it. Mason Smith Working back into 3. You can see the track starting to wear over. Starting to get rubber in it. Starting to slick up. Smith with a great run around the outside once more. He will keep on to that transfer spot. Castelli trying his best to take it over. Just can't do it down on that inside line. The 18 gonna regroup, goes back to the inside, goes for another slide, trying to fly up in front of the 18. Does not work. The 6 car stays in second place. The 18 will stay there in third. Now Paul Owens trying to work his way around for the lead. He'll keep the lead. Castelli keeps into the wall. He's not going to enjoy that one as he moves back in, trying to move another slide job on Mason Smith, but the 6 keeps second place, 3 to go in the C main. Castelli back to the inside. Mason Smith got loose on the outside. Castelli now holds the transfer, tries to slide up to cover the spot. They make contact. Castelli loose on the outside line. Here comes Mason Smith back to the inside. Side by side, 2 to go in the C main. Castelli back on the outside, rolling it really well up there as Mason Smith stays on the inside. The 6 car trying to keep that transfer. Castelli trying to transfer his way into the feature. Trying to transfer his way to the B main. White flag is out in the C main. The top 2 advance their way into the B main to live another day. Coming into turns 3 and 4. Paul Owens is going to grab the win in the C main, and David Castelli will get the best of Mason Smith. He advances into the B main. What a battle for the transfer spot there in the C main. But Owens and Castelli will now advance to the B main. And you can see him here in the starting grid as Jeremy Lyon Watkins will lead the field to green. Brandon Mettler to his outside. Daniel Smith, Jimmy Covert, Dane Simpson, Brendan Whitford, Paul Owens, and David Castelli. You can see them on the final row of the grid. Jordan, we had an intense battle for that transfer spot. Now we go from the top 2 advancing into the B main to the top 6 advancing their way into the feature. A lot more chances, but simple mistakes could put you back in 7th and 8th and right outside of the transfer.
You know, definitely this one's going to be more of a little bit of a laid back for the people who are above that line, but the people below it are definitely going to have to work it and prove that they want to get in there. And what we saw previously for the top 2 of the C main, that was probably the most intense race I have watched before. And so, you know, it's definitely interesting, and those drivers really proved that they really wanted it. And so I'm curious to see how this one goes, as who's going to make it, who's not.
Brandon Mettler had an amazing heat race, just couldn't get it done late. He is going for that feature race bid. Once again, top 6 will advance their way out of the B main. So work into the feature race. 60 laps on deck for tonight's feature. And that is set to be an exciting race. Anytime we're on dirt here in the Core Racing Premier Series, it's always exciting. So stick around for tonight's feature. It will be one to watch as we get ready to go racing in the B main. Top 6 advance their way to the feature. This is going to be an important one. David Castelli, Paul Owens advance their way in from the from the C main into the B main. Now, can they advance their way into the feature? Jeremy Lyon Watkins leads the field to green on the inside. He has Brandon Mettler.
Green.
We're underway in the B main. Cars already all over the place. The 133 all over the place in the middle. That's Brandon Whitford. He's going to fall back in the back. 4 wide now, 3 wide now for the transfer spot. Sitting in 6th place, it's Jimmy Covert. Here comes Whitford. He's looking for the spot once more. Jeremy Lyon Watkins had a disastrous start. He falls all the way to 8th place outside of the transfer. Battling now for the P number 3. It's Dan Simpson trying to move up the track ahead of David Castelli. Castelli rolls the outside of the 18. Here comes Daniel Stein in 2nd place on the outside. Simpson trying to work that middle line, trying to take over for the transfer spot. Not close enough. Sorry, for the lead. Not close enough to the lead. Mettler still has the lead, but Simpson doing his best there in the middle. David Castelli on the outside. He is rolling that top line incredibly well, trying to roll around everybody. Here comes Jimmy Cover in the 14 now down the inside. Side by side now for second between Castelli and Simpson. Simpson rolls the inside. Now have caught Brandon Mettler in the 15. Everybody into the wall further back, but we're 3 wide for the lead. Mettler outside. Castelli middle. Simpson bottom. Castelli had the lead at the line. Simpson now rolls the inside, will grab the lead back. 3 wide for second place. Where did Jimmy Covert come from? Here comes the 14. Side by side for the lead. Simpson in the middle. Castelli all the way up on the wall. Castelli in the wall. Simpson in the wall. They work back to the front straightaway. Castelli falls back to fourth. Simpson now has the lead with a considerable margin over the 14 and Jimmy Covert.
I'm very curious to see if the 96 is going to be able to hold this up, as Covert is right on his bumper, and you can see the 15 of Mettler right behind him. But the 96 seems like he's rolling pretty well with it. And the 15 just sliding up to the top, and there's contact. They both wash out in that turn, and the 96 hits the tire on the inside, and it puts him below the transfer line. So it's going to be definitely really interesting to see if he can make it back and contact into another car. So we're going to take a replay of the 15 going for the top slide job, and then
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
into the tire, which gets them all out of place. So very curious to see how he recovers from that, as we are in the first caution of this heat. So definitely curious to see what's going to happen.
Looks like a problem with Brandon Mettler in the 15. Let's see exactly what happened here. Vikings Motorsports, number 15. Slides up the track into David Castelli, and around he goes on the back straightaway. That brings out the first caution of the B main here tonight. And it comes about halfway through tonight's race here in the B main. It was a great effort going from Dane Simpson, and in the 96 now falls outside of the top 6. He will need to race his way back up above the cut line if he wants a shot at making his way into the feature. I did want to check my stats and see exactly if I was correct earlier. It looks like Dane Simpson has 1 start sometime this season in the Core Premier Series. So he is not exactly new, but definitely showing his strength here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Lights out on the iRacing Pace truck. Will be going back to racing this time by. Getting ready to continue in the B main. 9 laps to go. Jimmy Covert leads the field to green. Castelli on the outside will go on board with David Castelli for the restart here in the B main.
Green flag, green flag.
Castelli working the wheel, contact into the wall. He makes contact with Daniel Stein in the 4. The 4 car now moves his way up into B2. Battle for the transfer starting to heat up as well.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Back out. This time it's Brendan Whitford involved with Jeremy Lyon Watkins to bring out the yellow flag. Watkins on the inside. Oh, Whitford got a little bit too hot coming into the corner. Contact with the 71. That sent them both around in turn 2. And right on around here in the B main. The second caution of the B main as we continue the journey for the feature race here tonight. Once again, 60 laps on the docket for tonight's feature race. Top 2 from each of the heats, and the top 6 here from the B main will advance their way in, and we will have a total of 14 cars going racing in the feature race tonight. It is 4 cars advancing from each heat, 12 in there, 6 from here, so that means it'll be 18 cars lining up in tonight's feature race. Covert leads ahead of Castelli, Stein, Mettler, and Owens, your top 5. Lights back out on the iRacing Pace truck. We'll be back to racing this time by going green with roughly about 8 laps remaining here in the B main tonight. Jimmy Covert finds himself up front after a not-so-stellar heat race from him. And a not-so-stellar starting position here in the B main. He finds himself up front. And we're going racing.
Green flag, green flag.
The B main as everybody scatters on the restart once again. Castelli fights for second place. Stein with some connection issues on the inside. He will keep on going. But leading the way, it's now Covert. Castelli back in the wall. Contact with Castelli.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Cars involved in turn 3. Caution comes back out.
Just seems like he was a little bit too unsure of trying to go for the move. You can see the replay coming up on this next turn into the wall and tries to ride the high line, but was a little bit not clear, so not what he was really looking for, but it's going to be interesting to see how he can recover from that coming out for this next restart.
And unfortunate for Castelli, he pulls it into the pit lane, and that is going to spell the end of his day. Advanced from the C main, was doing an amazing job. Started all the way on the last row of the grid. And now comes back out on the racetrack after grabbing a fast repair. He will be at the tail end of this field. We'll see if he can catch his way back up through the field one more time. But caution flag back out here in the B main, the 3rd of the B main here tonight. Awaiting tonight's feature race, expected to be very exciting. 60 laps on the docket there. And points will be up for grabs in the feature race tonight. And points much needed by a lot of drivers, specifically the 199 of John Crane, specifically Paul Owens in the 91, who is currently 3rd here in this B main. And will we see the 2 or the 18 return to victory lane, or will we see the 15 make his way?
Green flag, green flag.
We're back underway here in the B main. Jimmy Covert continues to lead the way. Daniel Stein, 2nd place. Owens ahead of Mettler, Whitford, Dane Simpson back up into the transfer in the 96 as he works the inside. Castelli trying to get by. Jeremy Line Watkins behind, but he's not close enough for the transfer. 5 laps to go now here in the B main. Simpson holds the transfer in the 6th position. The gap behind to David Castelli just a little bit too far, but Castelli trying to roll the outside line and grab that spot. Moves back down to the inside, trying to close that gap between him and Dane Simpson in the 96 for the transfer. Top 6 advance their way into the feature. Loose into the corner goes Castelli, goes way up the track, unable to get that car to rotate. Loses a ton of time through turn 3. That might have ruined his chances right there. Rolls the bottom back again, but he's not going to be close enough as Simpson continues to try and battle for 5th with Brendan Whitford. Simpson loose on the bottom line. 2 laps to go here in the B main. Still rolling the inside. It's the 96. Castelli not close enough as the 96 continues to battle for 5th place. Jimmy Covert going to lead the field off of turn 4. The white flag is out here in the B main. Top 6 advance to the feature. Covert trying to walk away with the B main victory. And he is going to do exactly that. B main winner at the line. Jimmy Covert in the 14. He will grab the spot. And the top 6 come across the line. And it will be Castelli and Jeremy Line Watkins being eliminated as we head into tonight's feature race. Time to grab a look at your feature race starting grid. here tonight in the Core Racing Premier Series. Adam Jones will start on the pole here in the feature race with Mark Thomas to his outside. Alan Slight, Jonathan Platt share row 2. Wesley Fuller, Carl Landwerk row 3. Row 4, Paul Butler, John Crane, Bennett Allen, and Matt Crockett round out your top 10. Kevin Foster, Nick Nickerson round out your top 12. Looking down the rest of the field for the 18 cars starting the feature. Jimmy Covert, Daniel Stein, Paul Owens, Brandon Mettler, Brendan Whitford, and Dane Simpson, your top 18. Ready to go here in the feature race tonight. Cars rolling off from the starting grid. And they will do what is traditional for the Core Racing Premier Series whenever we go on dirt. The 3-wide salute for all of you fantastic Core Racing fans here on Racecraft TV. Time to go feature racing here in the Core Racing Premier Series from the dirt track at Charlotte. Mark Thomas will lead the field to green. It's
Green flag, green flag.
Here at Charlotte. Great start up front as everybody gets used to what they have here in the feature. Track state is not reset, still the exact same it was when we left the B main. Everybody fighting for real estate down on the bottom of the racetrack. Fighting for real estate up front is Mark Thomas. Thomas in the 50, gonna pull away at the front. Adam Jones down to second place. It's Platt ahead of Handwork ahead of Fuller, top 5 as they work across the stretch for lap 3.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see how this track is going to change here in the main. But you can see Thomas, he seems like he's having a really good night. He knows the track, knows what he's doing, and he's running the perfect type of laps that you can run here. So
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Caution is out first time in the feature race. Not sure exactly where we'll find that incident. We'll see if we can find that out. And it was further back. It looks to be Bennett Allen involved in this one. In the 24, and that brings out the first yellow flag of the evening, and it gets contact with the 10 of Matt Crockett. Up on top of him he goes. That's enough to bring out the first caution of tonight's feature. We'll take a quick break here on Racecraft TV, but make sure you're not going anywhere. We will go side by side, so you won't miss any of the action here on Racecraft TV before we go back to racing here in the feature race.
We needed more.
More from our bodies.
More from our minds.
So we went on a mission.
To study the top level of performance across every competitive playing field.
To find what fuels the highest level of athletes, businessmen, and gamers.
Through intense trials across the competitive landscape, we found that there were 5 undeniable principles that help your body operate at the highest level of peak performance all the time.
Focus. The ability to visualize and execute with precision. Focus is the single most important component when it comes to performance.
We combined multiple choline sources, including alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, along with L-tyrosine to help boost mental performance.
Recovery.
We need to take you from 5% to 100% as fast as possible. Bounce back with nourishing BCAAs.
For body and mind. Energy.
Fuel to get the job done. Answer the bell with confidence that you'll be able to attack energy and intensity.
We mix a blend of instant and sustained release caffeine to light a fire with
300 milligrams of Go.
stamina.
The willpower to see it to the end. But true stamina is coming back day after month after year. We incorporated L-carnitine to deliver energy on a cellular level, with betaine anhydrous and taurine augmenting those effects.
Hydration. Sports science was built on hydration, and it's no secret why.
That's why we added a blend of electrolytes to help sustain performance. We tried all of the other energy drinks. They may help you stay awake, but not much else. We combined all 5 pillars of performance into one single form:
Focus,
Recovery.
energy
stamina.
and hydration. We call it Refresh Technology.
And it delivers more.
Caution out on the racetrack here in the feature race as we went side by side. For a word from our sponsor, Raise Energy, and around went Dane Simpson, it looked like, on the racetrack. Mettler also was involved in this one as well. He got turned around in turn 1, stopped on the inside of 96 of Dane Simpson, goes all the way down to the bottom to try and avoid it, and flips up and over. Back on all 4 wheels, but he did flip down on the inside. So that brings out the second caution of the feature race, as we continue to race our way through tonight's feature. 10 laps completed under green flag conditions tonight, as we continue to sit and work our way through lap number 11. And we are under the yellow flag here tonight. Lights out on the iRacing Pace truck. So we get ready to go back to racing. Caution laps do count here in the feature. They didn't count in the heats or the B or C main, but they will count here in the feature. So we'll be going back to racing on to lap number 13. We'll go on board with the 18 of Carl Handwerk for the restart as we go back to racing here at the dirt track at Charlotte. And immediately the caution back out on the racetrack. Brandon Mettler caused in another accident on the track, brings out another caution. Here's the incident from Brandon Mettler on the restart. Oh, it's actually Jimmy Covert up in front, and Mettler had it happen directly in front of him. And he slammed on the brakes to try and avoid it and slid right into 14, making contact with, I believe, the 24 of Bennett Allen. Tough to tell as he was running both a black car and black numbers. But that looked to be the 24 of Bennett Allen. Yes, it was the 24 of Bennett Allen, but contact with Jimmy Covert in the 14. And Mettler gets collected in that, slamming on the brakes, trying to avoid the accident. So we're under caution, third time here tonight in the features. We're only about a quarter of the way through the race. We're glad you can join us here on Racecraft TV for tonight's race here in the Core Racing Premier Series. Future schedule for the Core Racing Premier Series will lead us to the Cup Cars at Michigan in 1 week's time, for the final round of the regular season. Then we make our way over into the first round of the playoffs. Xfinity cars at Five Flags, Pro Mazdas at Canadian Tire, and GT3 cars at the Daytona Road Course. Daytona Prototype at Mount Panorama, Super Late Models at North Wilkesboro, 410 Sprint cars at Eldora, and finally, in the final round of the playoffs, race details are still to be determined in the fan-voted finale. Back underway here in the feature for the Core Racing Premier Series at the dirt track at Charlotte.
Great restart for the 50 of Mark Thomas, as seems to be running that inside the line still, and it seems to get the job done as of right now. But you can't count down the 43 of Jonathan Platt, as he's right there behind the 50 of Mark Thomas as we're going lap 18 to 60 here at Charlotte.
Thomas rolling the inside very, very well, but here comes the fastest car from practice earlier on today, Jonathan Platt in the 43. Wesley Fuller makes a good move all the way to the inside of the 35 on Adam Jones in the 46. Slides up the track, makes contact. Not a lot of contact. They don't get into each other too much. None of them spin out. They keep it racing going forward. Carl Handwerk watches behind from 5th. Now 3 wide, all racing for the 3rd spot. Jones up on the outside, Fuller in the middle. Fuller gonna grab the 3rd spot. Jones now in 4th. Handwerk now gonna fall back into 5th. So we have a battle brewing further on back between Butler and Nick Nickerson in the 2, trying to fight his way up through the field. The 2 trying to catch the 36, working the back straightaway, throwing that car right into the corner. As he gets by, contact made. He's gonna move him back towards the back of the field. Butler now gonna fall 2 spots, surrenders them to Foster and Slate. Now here comes Bennett Allen to his inside. Racing back to the front straightaway, Butler trying to regroup as here comes the 8 car sliding through the corner, tap the wall going into turn number 1. He's side by side with Bennett Allen. That's Kevin Foster on the outside. Paul Butler now still trying to work his way up through the field, kind of stuck right now in 10th place as the battle for the lead continues between Platt and Thomas up at the front.
You can see the 43 just working that car to try and catch up to the 50 of Mark Thomas. But it seems that they're both standing at the same spot within the gap staying the same as each corner and lap goes down. But it also seems that the 50 is getting the 43 on the straightaways, but it's definitely really interesting to see what they're doing good right now, and what's stopping them from getting up and close to each other.
Platt trying to chase him down. Take a look at the lap time comparisons. Let's see exactly the difference in the lap times between both of these drivers. Thomas just a little bit faster. A good couple of laps there, but this time by it was 17.09 for the 50, 17.38 for Jonathan Platt in the 43. So that means 2.5 tenths more like it. Just lost for Jonathan Platt. Now here comes Carl Handwerk to the inside of Platt as they work their way back into turn number 1. Handwerk down on the inside. Gonna roll the inside really well, but the caution comes back out. Brandon Mettler not involved in that one. Actually, he looked to be involved in that one with John Crane in the 199. See what happened. Crane for Core Racing White. In contact with the force at the fork into the wall, hard into the tire on the inside, and Mettler an innocent bystander in that one as well. But the 199, a tire pushed right up into the wheel well. Not looking good for the 199. He is able to keep on going, but definitely some damage to the 199. He enters the pit lane to go in for a repair. Under caution for the 4th time tonight in the feature race. We are, however, halfway completed with tonight's feature as we race on lap number 131 tonight. Mark Thomas leads the way. Carl Handwerk, Jonathan Platt, Adam Jones, Wesley Fuller, your top 5. Alan Slate, Nick Nickerson, Bennett Allen, Paul Butler, Kevin Foster, your top 10. As we get ready to go back to racing in the feature race. Like we mentioned, halfway done with the race tonight. Mark Thomas doing an amazing job at leading the way. He hasn't really put those elbows up yet this season, Jordan, and now he's showing his strength here on the dirt, looking for his first win of the season and a lock into the playoffs.
You know, definitely, and we still got about halfway to go, so definitely be interesting to see how he can do so, as we are about to go green flag racing once again, as I'm pretty sure the pace truck is in, and I'm pretty sure next time by we are going green.
Looks like a delayed green there. The lights were out on the iRacing pace truck last time by. They went double file, but the green flag was delayed. So, believe now we'll be heading under the green flag. There goes the pace truck pulling its way back into the pit lane, and assuming it doesn't re-pull out of the pit lane, we will be going back to racing this time by. We'll go on board with the 35 of Wesley Fuller inside row 3 on the restart. Caution back out in the feature. Not sure who's involved. Oh, Bennett Allen on his lid in turn number 3. What on earth led to that happening? Let's find out. This is through turn 1 and 2. Looks like he got pinched by the O2 into the wall, and into the wall again, right over onto his lid. So the 24 stuck upside down, had to tow it back into the pit lane. That puts us under another caution here in the feature. We'll go side by side once again here on Racecraft TV. And don't go away, green flag action when we return.
We needed more.
More from our bodies.
More from our minds.
So we went on a mission.
To study the top level of performance across every competitive playing field.
To find what fuels the highest level of athletes, businessmen, and gamers.
Through intense trials across every competitive landscape, we found that there were 5 undeniable principles that help your body operate at the highest level of peak performance all the time.
Focus. The ability to visualize and execute with precision. Focus is the single most important component when it comes to performance.
We combined multiple choline sources, including alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, along with L-tyrosine to help boost mental performance.
Recovery.
We need to take you from 5% to 100% as fast as possible. Bounce back with nourishing BCAAs.
For body and mind. Energy.
Fuel to get the job done. Answer the bell with confidence that you'll be able to attack energy and intensity.
We mix a blend of instant and sustained release caffeine to light a fire with
300 milligrams of GO.
Stamina.
The willpower to see it to the end. But true stamina is coming back day after month after year. We incorporated L-carnitine to deliver energy on a cellular level, with betaine anhydrous and taurine augmenting those effects.
Hydration. Sports science was built on hydration, and it's no secret why.
That's why we added a blend of electrolytes to help sustain performance. We tried all of the other energy drinks. They may help you stay awake, but not much else. We combined all 5 pillars of performance into one single form.
Focus.
Recovery.
Energy,
Stamina.
and hydration. We call it Refresh Technology.
And it delivers more.
Back under the yellow flag here in the Core Racing Premier Series feature race for the UMP Modifieds at the dirt track at Charlotte here in the Premier Series. And it was an incident involving a couple of cars on the back straightaway. First one looked to be Jimmy Covert, contact with Tena Matt Crockett, and right into the line of, I believe that was Paul Owens. Yes, it was the 91 of Paul Owens, and that brings out another caution on the racetrack. And Covert right back into the pit lane. Lap counter starting to run its way down as the lights are out on the iRacing pace truck. We go back to racing, and we'll be commercial free now here on Racecraft TV to the finish of this feature race. Mark Thomas, Jonathan Platt still fighting for the lead as we go back to green and the lights back out on the iRacing pace truck. We'll be going around one more time. Standing by for the green flag. Lights should be out on the IRC pace truck now. They are, and will be going green with 17 laps to go. Everybody looking for points. Mark Thomas looking for his first win of the season. And so is Jonathan Platt. But Platt is not technically locked in on points just yet. He is getting incredibly close, and this could help him out immensely if he gets that win. Top two still looking for spots in the playoffs. Everybody back from there already has a win, including Carl Andwerk, as Andwerk sends it up the inside, looking for the spot. He's going to take over P2. Now in the middle, 3 wide for second place, all the way on the inside. Adam Jones in the 46 gets loose on the inside. Here comes the 2. Nick Nickerson, where did he come from? He's up in the 3rd. Contact further back, Platt's in the wall, the 43, hard into the wall, collects John Crane in the 199. Back under caution now, 16 laps to go. Let's see where this incident started. It looks like Brandon Mettler was involved in this incident. Oh my, it was just Jonathan Platt. Platt got so loose, and Brandon Mettler has been just an innocent bystander in all of these incidents tonight. Nothing he could have done. Looked to be a product of Platt getting loose on the outside, or Adam Jones coming up into him, Wesley Fuller on the outside. This seemed to be an element of dirt track racing, not exactly knowing exactly where all the competitors are around you, everybody sliding. And that puts us under the yellow flag once again. But 14 laps now remaining here in the feature race. Mark Thomas still leads the way in the number 50. Thomas has not gotten a win this season. Currently sits 19 points above the cut line in 12th for the playoffs. Nick Nickerson looking for his fourth win of the season. Or 5th win of the season. He has 4 wins, looking for number 5. Handwerk's looking for his 4th win of the season. You go further back, Adam Jones looking for just his 2nd win of the season. Alan Slight looking for a spot in the playoffs. He is winless this season as well. That's where your top 5 sits as the pace truck pulls back into the pit lane. 12 laps to go here in the feature. Back underway at the dirt track at Charlotte. Outside, starting to rubber itself in as everybody races further back. Handwerk looking for the lead on the outside. Thomas inside, still rolling that inside really well as the 50. But here comes Carl Handwerk, a huge run around the outside with 11 to go.
What a comeback for Handwerk as he started in the back, and like we've always talked about Josh, he can start anywhere and he can be always up there in the top 3, along with Nickerson, as he was up there for a second, and then as we progressed through the race, he's progressed through a few more laps. He fell back a tiny bit, and as there's 10 laps to go, you can see Handwerk already pulling away from the 50 of Mark Thomas, so it's definitely going to lead to an interesting finish here at Charlotte.
1 second the gap now, and Mark Thomas starting to see that championship or that playoff bid starting to fall away. But if we get a caution, that could all change. Couple cars hitting each other, and towards the back we stay green. And a mirror full of Adam Jones in the 46 for the 50 of Mark Thomas. But Handwerk running away with this now. 1.3 seconds the gap as the 18 pulls away up front. Here comes Adam Jones to the inside of the 50 for P2. Position swapping further on back. Thomas doing a great job holding off the 46 for second place. Caution is back out. Matt Crockett involved in turn 4.
Seems like he just got a little bit washed out in the turn, as we're going to take a look at the replay. Seems like he's pretty good as of right now. And it seems like he got made contact with another car.
91 Paul Owens.
In which that turned him around. So, Josh, as you were saying, if we were to get another caution, which we did, this is going to change some things as we have 5 laps to go here from Charlotte. So it's definitely be interesting to see how Handwork can hold up the lead.
And now this will bunch everybody back up, so Thomas will be right back either behind or next to Carl Handwork in the 18. So we might see a pass for the lead. Looking to go green with about 3 laps to go. We currently have 5 to go. And looking to be going green with about 3 laps to go, which means we only have 3 laps to get it done. Mark Thomas started in 2nd place, has led pretty much since the drop of the green flag. And he has had an incredibly dominant race and looking for his first win of the season, a lock into the playoffs. This could mean a lot for the 50. Lights out of the pace truck. Going back racing this time by 4 laps to go. And the battle for the lead is just starting to heat up. We add Mark Thomas back into the mix. We add Alan Slight, Adam Jones, Nick Nickerson, and more into the mix now as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Handwork on the loud pedal, back racing with 3 to go. Handwork with a great start. Mark Thomas stuck on the outside. Adam Jones looking for 2nd place. He slides up in front of the 50. He'll take it. Jones going to take over 2nd place in the 46. Now here comes Wesley Fuller to fight Mark Thomas for 3rd. Fuller with a great move to the inside. Caution comes back out. Paul Owens around. Yellow flag will be going into overtime.
This is going to cause for some interesting finishes here tonight as we take a look at the replay. And it seems like contact is made, and around goes the 91 of Paul Owens. Not what he was looking for, but you know, this is going to lead for a crazy finish, Josh, as once again, like you said, we're going into overtime.
Green, white, checkered attempts. Now in the feature race. We have 2 attempts at a valid green, white, checkered finish, which means the leader will take the green flag, come back around, take the white flag, come back around, take the checkered flag. If a caution comes out on the green flag lap, we'll rack them up again. We have 2 attempts to make it to the white flag. Once the white flag comes out, no caution can be called. The race is official. Carl Handwork leads ahead of Adam Jones, Wesley Fuller, Mark Thomas, Nick Nickerson rounds out your top 5. Lights out on the iRacing pace truck. Field will go single file for this restart. Adam Jones trying for his first win of the season, or sorry, 2nd win of the season. Wesley Fuller going for his 1st. Handwork goes for his 4th. Thomas for his 1st, Nickerson for his 5th. Here we go. The first green, white, checkered attempts in the feature is underway. Handwork stacks up the entire field, sends Adam Jones further back. He's gonna have to fight now from P2. Wesley Fuller falls back. The 2 now battling the 50 of Mark Thomas for 4th. But out in front, it's all Carl Handwork in the 18. Running the outside line. He'll come across the start-finish line. The white flag is now out. One more time around the dirt track at Charlotte. Carl Handwork with a late race push to pass for the lead on Mark Thomas. He'll come around turns 3 and 4 and take the win in the feature. Carl Handwork grabs the win at Charlotte. Fourth win of the season for the 18 of Carl Handwork. An amazing late race push. Started in 6th for the feature. Gained 5 spots to finish in 1st. The Demolition Derby starts on the front straightaway. And we'll grab a look at your full race results here from the virtual dirt track at Charlotte. Carl Handwerk grabs the win. Adam Jones in second. Wesley Fuller, Alan Slight, Daniel Stein round out your top 5. Jonathan Platt, Dane Simpson, Kevin Foster, Brandon Mettler, Jimmy Covert, your top 10. Matt Crockett, Mark Thomas, Paul Butler, Brendan Whitford, and Nick Nickerson, your top 15. John Crane, Paul Owens, and Bennett Allen round out your 18-car field. Here in the feature race for tonight's Core Racing Premier Series event at the dirt track at Charlotte with the iRacing UMP Modifieds. Jordan, what an exciting race in the feature and an amazing run for Carl Handwerk. He's standing by now in the interview waiting room, now up in the booth with us. Carl, congratulations on your win. It was incredible late race drive there in the feature. Go back to the heat. How was that heat for you, and how did that translate into the feature tonight?
Listen, I know I told you guys last week that I was, or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, I wasn't looking forward to this. And even now that we're done, I'm still not looking forward to it. I'm not a big fan of these cars, but yeah, I definitely wanted to try some things in practice and see kind of how this track progressed and where the line was, because typically, once the track burns out, it's a low line is where you want to be. But for some reason, late in practice, it still felt like, kind of really working the throttle on the top was fast. And, in the heat, it was still pretty fresh. So, it was still kind of just working at wherever I had a chance. That the whole track was still pretty clean, that you could make moves. But I knew once it got late to the feature here that I definitely have to move up to the top, and just surprising that I was the first one up there and just started driving around people, so it worked out nice.
And throughout that feature, you really worked that bottom line well, and you said it came into play there throughout the race. And you passed Mark Thomas in the 50 for the lead. I just want to know your thoughts on passing Mark Thomas, because he is still looking for a spot in the spot in the playoffs. He's 19 points above the cut line. Was it easy to pass him, or did it kind of sting a little bit knowing his spot right now in the playoffs?
Well, and honestly, it's a real shame, because Mark was definitely up there, and he deserved, at least the top 5, if not, potentially the win. But I know he's a little bit newer to dirt. He's mainly a road guy. He's kind of working all assets, this season in core, and he's getting better clearly at all of them. But I think I need to work with him a little bit when it comes to later in the race, because he sticks to the bottom, and it's good and nice and safe, and it's usually not that much slower. But in the end here, it's definitely the top is where you want to be. And once he kind of committed to the bottom, I knew as long as I had a couple good turns and a couple good laps that I'd be able to work around him on the outside.
We go back to asphalt next week. Cup cars at the Michigan International Speedway. Do you think you can go back to back here in the Premier Series?
It's not a bad track for me. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It'd be nice to once again add another win before the playoffs, get some more bonus points. But I mean, there's going to be a ton of guys that are really gunning for that win and kind of sneaking into the playoffs, maybe if they're on the outside. So there'll be a lot of guys in play, I'm sure. Anybody
else you would like to thank here on Racecraft TV?
Yeah, just like usual, I want to thank all the guys that make this happen week in and week out. Thank you guys for the broadcast. Thank our sponsors, Wood Nickel Woodworking, Raised Energy, Joka Graphics, everybody that helps us get this done every season. It's fun.
Thank you for joining us in the commentary booth. Congratulations on your feature race win.
Thanks, man.
That was Carl Handwerk, your winner in the feature race in the Core Racing Premier Series. That will do it for us here on Racecraft TV. But make sure you tune in 1 week's time. Cup cars from the Michigan International Raceway here in the Core Racing Premier Series. And tomorrow night, Core Racing Vintage Cup Series returns as the playoffs come near. For Jordan Hicks, Carl Handwerk, I am Joshua Lee. Thank you so much for joining us here on Racecraft TV. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we are saying goodbye from the virtual dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.